The room smelled like burnt garlic and cheap wine. My mother leaned back in her chair, swirling her glass like she owned the world. "You're 32 and still renting," she said with a dry laugh. "What happened to all those big plans, Ethan?" My brother Jason smirked across the table. The same smirk he'd worn since we were kids. "You'll always be a nobody," he said, shrugging. I didn't react. I just kept cutting my steak slowly, precise, controlled, because the truth was sitting quietly in my pocket, and neither of them had the faintest idea. I used to believe family meant loyalty. Growing up, Jason and I shared everything. Same bedroom, same hand-me-down bikes, same cheap cereal at the kitchen table while Mom rushed out the door for double shifts. Back then, we were a team. When Dad left, I was 12. Jason was 9. Mom cried for weeks. I remember promising myself something that night. I'll take care of them. And I did. I worked my way through college. 2 jobs, sleepless nights. Eventually, I built something small but profitable, an analytics consulting firm. Quiet money, not flashy, but steady. Jason never asked how I was doing. Mom never cared. But when Jason lost his job 5 years ago, Mom called me in tears. "They're going to take the house," she said. So I stepped in, quietly. The mortgage payments started coming from an LLC I owned, then the car lease, then the credit card balances, even their utilities. I never told them, not because I wanted praise, because I wanted dignity, because I thought one day they'd notice. Instead, I got that dinner, that smirk, that word, nobody. The moment everything changed wasn't loud. It was subtle. Jason leaned over and said something to Mom while I was pouring water. They thought I couldn't hear. "Relax," he whispered. "He's broke anyway. What's he gonna do?" Mom chuckled. I froze for half a second. Then I smiled. And in that moment, something inside me turned cold. Not angry. Clear. Crystal clear. That night I sat in my office staring at my laptop. For years I'd protected them. Covered mistakes. Paid debts. Built a quiet safety net under their lives. And they mocked me for it. I opened the financial dashboard. Mortgage account, active. Auto loans, active. Utilities, autopay. Insurance, everything. All routed through my company. All documented. All legal. I leaned back in my chair. Then I started planning. First move was silence. 2 days of silence. No calls. No texts. Just preparation. I contacted the bank managing the mortgage. Transferred ownership of the payment account. Canceled the automatic coverage. Next, the cars. Both leases were under a financial guarantor contract. I withdrew the guarantee. Legally. Cleanly. Then the credit cards. I had been paying minimum balances for years through a temporary assistance agreement. Temporary. Funny word. I terminated it. Finally, utilities. Internet. Electric. Gas. Every single autopay. Gone. No drama. Just paperwork. Then I wrote the email. Short. Professional. Cold. Subject. Financial support termination. Mom, Jason. After reviewing my finances, I've decided I can no longer continue providing financial assistance for the following accounts: mortgage payment, vehicle leases, credit card balances, utilities. All support will cease immediately. You will need to arrange your own payments moving forward. I wish you both the best, Ethan. I read it once. Then I pressed send. The first call came 6 hours later. Jason. I let it ring. Then Mom. Then Jason again. Then both of them. Voicemail after voicemail. I listened to them slowly, one by one. At first they were confused. Ethan. What is this email? Then worried. The bank says the mortgage didn't clear. Then desperate. The car company just called. Then angry. What the hell did you do? I waited until the next evening to answer. Jason showed up at my office, red-faced, panicking. He slammed the door behind him. What did you do? He demanded. I folded my hands on the desk. Calm. You said I was broke. I said quietly. He stared at me. What? The mortgage. I continued. The cars. The cards. The utilities. I let the words hang. I've been paying them. His face drained of color. For a long moment, he didn't speak. Then he laughed. A shaky, defensive laugh. Yeah, right? So I turned my monitor toward him. Payment history. 5 years. Every transaction. Every bill. Every rescue. His eyes scanned the screen, and the smirk died. Mom arrived 20 minutes later. She looked smaller than I remembered. Panic. Ethan. She said breathlessly. There must be a mistake. No mistake. I slid the printed statements across the desk. She stared at them, page after page. Then her hands began to shake. You were paying all of this? Yes, Jason whispered. Why didn't you tell us? I leaned back, because that question was the final twist. I wanted to see who you really were. Silence filled the room. Heavy, uncomfortable. Mom started crying. Jason looked like someone had pulled the floor out from under him. What are we supposed to do now? He asked. I shrugged slightly. The same casual shrug he'd used at dinner. Figure it out. They left without another word. No yelling. No apologies. Just shock. Reality hitting like gravity. The bank would call soon. The car companies too. Life without a safety net is loud. 2 weeks later, the house went up for sale. Jason moved into a small apartment. Mom stopped calling. I heard through a cousin that they tell people I abandoned the family. Maybe that's easier than admitting the truth, that the nobody was holding their entire world together. But I don't feel angry anymore. Just lighter. Some lessons are expensive. There's cost to house, to cars, and a lifetime of assumptions. Mine only costs silence. And one email. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's just removing the hand that was quietly holding everything up and letting gravity do the rest.